Okay, this is just a quick walkthrough on how to cite sources in your discussion boards. This is a student's or part of a student's discussion board. Obviously, I've got their name blocked out for privacy concerns. This is one from late in the semester, and this student did a pretty good job. So I wanted to go through and just show you. You're going to be writing 500-word discussion boards. You're going to need to cite sources in response to the questions. This is a question about reform movements. That'll be covered in, I believe it's week 11. So here we go. She's got some great points she makes, and she even has some quotes from the book, and then she cites the book at the end. Look at that. And it's in the sentence. Period goes after that last parenthesis. Okay. So the Second Great Awakening was significant to the women's rights movement because it's, of course, women's rights movement, but that's okay. Because it was one of the first movements that gave women, quote, opportunities to participate in benevolent and reform associations that took women outside the domestic circle and into a realm of public activism. That's a great use of a quote from the book. And then she cites it. Super important. She's got the book title and the page number. Now, your textbook is different, and she missed the comma, which she got later here in this citation. So you're going to say, give me liberty, comma, page number. Okay, so that's and that's not just a quote. It's also if you paraphrase, which she does in this sentence, while the condition of white women was not as dire, their involvement with the abolitionist movement did cause many women to note that both groups had a similar lack of legal rights. And this information she got from the book, but it's not a direct quote. She's put it into her own words, but it's still not her original idea. Here's your source. Okay? She also cites a document. We now demand our right to vote. Now, they did not have a document reader. They had to pull everything off Blackboard, so they were not as lucky as you. So what you're going to do instead is you're going to write Voices of Freedom, comma, number, like £, document number. So just like on your breakdown. So you would write Voices of Freedom, you'd write it out in the parentheses, comma, number 4. Okay? So you'd write that number 4. That way I know which document you're citing. So you always got to cite your source. And then she cites lecture too. Okay, so in the parentheses you can say lecture 14 if it's lecture 14, lecture 6, lecture 5, whichever. Or you can say lecture, comma, and then you can put the title of the lecture in the quotes. Either way is fine. I just need to know which lecture you're citing. That's all. Okay. So let's see. She talks about lots of different stuff. This is a really good, it's got a conclusion. It's got an introduction. So this is really well written. It's got time went into it. It's proofread, so not a bunch of mechanical errors. It meets the length requirement. It answers the question fully. It uses lecture, a document, and the textbook. You got to use at least one document. She uses 2 here. So just make sure that when you write your discussion board and you go to answer your question, you're answering the question completely. You're citing the sources that you're getting the information from. And so, for example, that is not right. So, for example, let's see here if I can go back quickly enough so that we don't get everybody's names everywhere. So here's us. Here's week 1. So for example, you're answering this question about contact, right? And you're probably going to cite lecture. So that's going to be, parentheses, lecture, comma, either title of the lecture or lecture 1. In parentheses, you close your parentheses and then you put your period, right? Otherwise, your citation is just sort of floating out in space very randomly, or starting the next sentence, which is also kind of weird. So make sure you put that parentheses inside that period. You've also got the Columbus letter, which you might want to use. You might want to quote it. You might want to paraphrase it. Talk about European society. You might want to use Thomas Morton. Because these are not voices of freedom, you would say Columbus, comma, page number if you're printing this out. If you don't print it out, it doesn't have page numbers, so you can just say Columbus. Or Morton, comma, page number, Morton, comma, page number. This is a .doc file, so even if you open it and don't print it out, it'll have page numbers. I think it's like 1 or 2 pages. It's not long. So make sure you cite these sources here. You don't have to cite textbook. You don't have to cite Voices of Freedom. They are not required for this week. Going forward, you will need to do that in the manner that I discussed. And I know this is a lot of information being thrown at you. I'm not going to be as hard on week 1's discussion board. I'm going to include lots of detailed feedback too. So if you're missing a key component, if you forgot to cite, I'm going to give that feedback to you in the grade center. So you will get that feedback from me. You will know exactly what I was expecting. You will know exactly how to proceed going forward and improve future weeks. So, of course, if you have any questions before this is due on Friday, email me. Don't wait till the last minute, but shoot me an email, and I will get back to you and let you know, you answer your question hopefully as comprehensively as I can. And I know this is a lot for some people. This is very different, especially folks who are more science and medicine oriented. History and humanities can be kind of difficult to get into. So with that in mind, please communicate with me. Contact me with any questions. I know I just threw a lot of information at you. So just let me know if you have any issues, and we will work it out. So hopefully that has shown you how to cite. And like I said, I will give you lots of feedback going forward, including on this week 1 discussion board after you've turned it in. All right, have a great day and a great semester.